School was never something I wanted to do, but rather needed to do in order to continue playing sports, which is what my passion lied in.
I guess I never really had a moment I was especially proud about in school because that was what was expected of me, so why would I be proud of it?
I started from the bottom and now I'm at UCSB. College was not on my agenda until people pushed me.
I had to transfer a lot in college because we were always moving and I had to take under 9 units. When I lived in Idaho, I had to take night classes all while raising my lovely children. Then I moved back to California. Since I was no longer a California resident, I had to attend classes part-time until I became a resident of California again. I finally finished 10 years later.
Before I went to the private school, I was in one of the worst public educational schools in California. I was so far ahead of the class that my teacher had me organize her shelves while she taught the rest of the class. But after she moved to the private school, there was a major fundamental issue about the way students were treated. Because private schools are privately funded, there becomes a hierarchy in the way students are treated based on their parents' wealth. It was known fact that they were not only treated better, but were not punished and received higher grades.
This is where I guess you can say I had my first real eye-opening experience. This was my first time ever leaving Richmond and seeing that people had different worries in life. My whole life, my struggles were always about finances or safety, never about love. These kids were struggling because they couldn't find the love they needed from their families, but I just was happy to not be worried about money or being unsafe.
Education is the way I'm going to make an impact in this world, and I'll see you there when I'm changing the world someday.
I prefer learning in groups because I can grasp concepts and connect with class material if I'm actively interacting with the class.
My favorite teacher was Mr. Goodman. I took French 1, 2, and 3 with him. He was my favorite because his classroom felt like a safe space. We could do anything in good fun as long as it was not inappropriate. Also, he was a British Englishman who decided to move to France and he fell in love and stayed. But that's not his native language, so it motivated me because I thought I too could become fluent in French. Also, he always encouraged us to go backpacking through Europe because everything is connected by railways. So myself and 2 friends did that year after I graduated high school.
If one can achieve a higher goal but didn't, how could I feel justified and content? How can I know who am I and what am I capable of? I choose the USB because I want answers for those questions.
It was 8th grade in English class with Miss Knight, and we basically had to write a short story, like 400 words or something like that, about your experience in school. And I kind of wrote as if school was a prison and it was like this hellhole or whatever. And I guess she really liked it, so she read it out loud and then started crying in class. So it was kind of like, is this how everyone thinks of school? And everyone kind of agreed with the statement. So I think that impacted me just because she didn't realize how much we didn't like her as a teacher or school, but then nothing really changed after that.
No one ever gave a shit, not even my own mom cared if I stayed in school. For once, someone was there for me. Miss Renner, she cared. She believed in us.
I used to love math, and there was this teacher that was just like mean. And he was kind of abusive, like verbally abusive is a strong word, but he was harsh, you know what I mean? And I feel like he didn't like a lot of the students, and he didn't like his job. And he kind of like made me hate math, and he like screwed me up for like the rest of high school. Like I kind of abandoned math because of him, and I used to love it.
I don't really like going to school because I like to stay out of school because I don't like staying in school for long because it feels like lots and lots of hours.
It is lots and lots of hours.
That was from a 7-year-old.
The most important thing was getting involved in sports, student government with my peers and classmates and teachers. It gives me personal satisfaction to help others by getting involved, so it's a win-win situation.